Well, it was a triumphant Prime Minister who ended the parliamentary sitting year with a series of legislative victories. There were deals between the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and the opposition on migration detention measures and on a social media ban for under-16s. The government also reached deals with the Greens and crossbenchers on the government's housing bills, a Future Made in Australia legislation and the reshaping of the Reserve Bank. Suddenly, after months of drowning under the cost of living issue, the government has a spring in its step. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, together with the Senate Manager of Government Business, Katie Gallagher, met MPs one by one and convinced them to get a bunch of reforms over the line. It gives the government some confidence going into a summer break before an election year. Despite the fact the polls have the government marginally behind, the PM believes if he heads into a campaign at 50-50 or 49-51, as the polls have shown, he can win. His experience comes from seeing John Howard win elections from similar positions several times in Albanese's early years in the Parliament. I believe an election date is firming for May, but there are a few dates still on the table. I believe it won't be any earlier than April, however. So Parliament will be back in February, and the Prime Minister said so last week. From the opposition's point of view, Simon Birmingham's retirement means Peter Dutton must undertake a reshuffle, which I believe will be announced in the next couple of weeks and will result in more than one change. There will also be an announcement in the next fortnight on the cost of the opposition's nuclear energy policy, with the opposition having talked up previously a Frontier Economics report which said the cost of the government's renewables plan is more than $642 billion.